For the last 48 hours, I have felt just a little teeny bit what it feels like to be a single mom because my husband is sick. That's really not a fair thing to say, because if it's only 48 hours, you really don't know what it feels like. You have to be a single mom for a long time before it would really kick in. So what I'm trying to say is I am blown away by how hard it is. I am also blown away by how hard my husband's job is. I'm always blown away by that. But when he actually gets sick, which never happens, he has the strongest constitution. The rest of us will be down with some horrendous cold and he'll take care of all of us and never get sick. But he has that awful flu that's going around, and the rest of us are not sick yet, knock on wood. But he is so sick. And when he's sick, the whole world gets screwed up because the rest of us just don't know what to do with ourselves. The boys look panicked because they just know I can't handle it. I try and encourage them and say, I can handle it. Why are you guys freaking out? I can do a little cooking and grocery shopping and homework and to bed. Why are you guys freaking out? And they'll be like, it's okay, Mom. We know you can handle it. And yet they look nervous. So for the last 2 days, I come home from work and I pick them up from school and I help with the homework and I get a little dinner going and I help with the finishing of the homework and help them, get to bed. And I'm exhausted. Oh, and I try and do a little laundry in there. How does he do it? How do you do it? You who handle this job. Whether you work from home or work in a separate workplace, being a parent is the most exhausting thing. Now, I know I'm a parent and I parent too, and I help with these things. But when you're the primary parent, which Aaron clearly is and has always been, because when I go to work, he buffers me from so much of the work so that I can get to bed early and be rested so that I can do my job. He buffers me from so much of the main work that when he really goes down, which happens so rarely, I develop this just humble gratitude for what he does every day. So to all of you who parent, and especially to those of you who do it without support, I'm blown away. I wish I knew how to be of help to you. And I have to share this other strange thing, which I know has nothing to do with parenting, but which happened within the same short period of time. And it does have to do with emotion. So I know we get to the end of our ropes sometimes. And so when we're at the end of our ropes, sometimes we lash out in anger. We also experience emotion. Have you ever flipped somebody off while you're driving? I got flipped off twice within a 2-hour period of time yesterday. That is really rare. And both times, now look, I'll tell you, I am not the best driver. If either of those times were my fault, I would tell you right now, because I am not the best driver and I would own it. Neither of those times were my fault. I didn't do anything. Not that it's ever your fault to get flipped off, because I think getting flipped off is not okay. And by the way, I should own this. I actually flipped somebody off once about 30 years ago. That did not feel good. At the time, I thought it would feel good. It did not. It was a punk thing to do. It was a youthful, stupid punk thing to do. I'm not proud of it. I remember it because pretty much it's the only time I think I've ever done it. I don't want to give you any more details. It wasn't while driving. Let's just leave it at that. But here's what happened. The first time I got flipped off yesterday, I was driving up on campus at the University of Utah, and there were 2 lanes of traffic going up on 4th, I guess it had broken off. And the guy in front of me could not go straight because he was blocked by the cars that were trying to turn left. A car behind me started honking, wanting the car in front of me to be able to go straight. But the car in front of me did not have enough space. He couldn't get around the car that was in the line to turn left. So the car behind me starts honking. The car behind me doesn't realize the car in front of me cannot go straight until they start turning left, until that line of cars starts turning left. So the car in front of me turns around and flips me off, thinking I'm the car that's honking at him. I am not honking at him. It's the car behind me. But he flipped me off with enthusiasm. In fact, after he started driving, he then rolled down the window and flipped me off some more. That one didn't upset me too much because I sort of understood. I did not turn around and flip off the car behind me so that I would actually communicate the flip off to the person who, deserved it. I just went about my business. Later in the day, I'm driving to the grocery store on 90th South. And as I'm driving down 90th South, a car turns right in front of me, cuts me off. So much so that I have to put on my brakes. That's sort of my measure. If I have to put on my brakes, let alone put on them hard, which in this case, I had to step on them a little bit to make sure I didn't hit this guy. If I have to put on my brakes for you, you've probably done something wrong. I should not be impeded in my flow at all. And if I impede your flow, then I've done something wrong. So the car turns left in front of me, so much so that I have to put on my brakes and put on pretty hard. And he flips me off. Now, what's going on there? Why is he flipping me off? Is he flipping me off to say, nya, 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 nya? I can do this? I can cut you off and I can flip you off? I'm not doing anything to him. I'm just driving. So here's the strange thing. My exhaustion, coupled with the fact that I am sort of an emotional person, it prompted me to cry. Now, I am an emotional person. I cry a lot. But I don't know what it was. His anger or cruelty, or just the flip off, which is sort of a violent gesture, I started to cry. I had to sit, and I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. I had to sit in the parking lot like I'm doing right now, just waiting for something to finish so I can pick it up in the grocery store. I got emotional, feeling I had taken in his anger. And I thought, if I had been his sister or his wife or his mom, would he have wanted to cause the pain that he did? I don't think so. I'd hope not. And yet he did. Was he expressing that anger to me so he didn't express it to his sister or his mom or his wife? Getting it out of his system? Why do people do that? If you're the kind of person who does that, why do you do it? Where does that road rage come from? Do you do it to get it out of your system? And is it the exhaustion we feel from parenting that causes us to be mean and angry in the rest of our lives? Because I just have to feel like that's going to rub off on the kids. I don't know. I know these are two disparate topics. Where does the feeling of single parenting and my gratitude and just awe at what you're able to do, and my emotion at the cruelty of being on the receiving end of 2 of those in one 2-hour period. I need some direction at how we can be kinder to each other. I see on Instagram all the time those shirts that say, if you can be anything, be kind. And I tell that to my boys all the time. If you are big successes in whatever you do, but you're not kind, I will not think you are a success, and I will not be proud of you. I let that sink in. So, if you have wisdom for me, I'm always going to welcome it. Thanks for spending some time with me. See you later.